Hello, I just want to make a quick video to show off a personal project that I've been working on. It's basically just a way to search through subtitles files in order to find content to make GIFs. In my previous videos I've showed how to make GIFs in the command line using FFmpeg, and now this is how we're going to find content to make those GIFs. Some of the tools I've used to create this personal project is Streamlit. It's a great Python library for making prototypes. It's very easy. I'll show you. It's in very little code I was able to make this user interface. I'm using Postgres for the database and pgadmin to connect to the database and kind of play around with the data if I need to. And I'm running everything from Docker. I'll just go ahead and show you quickly how the search works. So this is a semantic search, so I don't need the actual keywords for it to get correct results. Kind of takes out the meaning of the sentence. So one of my favorite movies is Office Space, and I remember a line that a friend and I use back and forth. I'm doing the drywall at the new McDonald's. It's when Peter's talking to his neighbor, so if I just put something in close to that, that should be the first result that we get. So drywall at the new McDonald's, I'll do plumbing at the Burger King. So that should be close enough. And yeah, you can see our first result there is I'm doing the drywall at the next one, or at the new McDonald's. So you can see from this example that all the results are from Office Space. So I'm going to go through and add a new movie here. Another movie that I really like is Super Troopers. So I'm going to grab a subtitles file. Bear with me for a moment. And drag and drop here. See that I've uploaded the subtitles. And then I click upload parse. You can see it's running here. I'm probably going to skip forward a little bit because it does take a minute or two to go through the entire file and add it to the database. It's creating vectors of all the strings as well, so it is a little bit time consuming. Alright, so the subtitles have successfully uploaded and stored for Super Troopers. So if we go back to query subtitles, I'm going to try the same text and see if we get similar results. It is slightly different. Alright, so drywall the new McDonald's is still the first one. Great, Super Troopers. So yeah, even though we do have burger in both of these, it wasn't the first result. Probably because plumbing is in there as well. Plumbing and drywall are close together. But you can see how powerful this can be. You don't have to know the keywords of what you're looking for as long as you get the gist of it. So if you wanted, you can go over to my website, and I've highlighted or extracted a lot of the key parts of this semantic search. So here is vectorizing the subtitle. You can use the same vectorized text for the query as well. So you want to match the vector that's in the database with the query that has been vectorized as well. You can play around with different models if you like. Just keep in mind that the size of the vectors are very important. So when you create the database, you have to have the correct size vector, or else it'll just throw an error. Searching subtitles here, you can see it's a little bit different of a query for the vector, and you can see it's 1 minus, so it'll give you a similarity score of like 0.4 or something like that. We can actually go back here to the app, and it's just hidden at the moment. Yeah, so 0.486 was for the top one. And here's a quick example of it just being thrown all together. but I'll step into the back end quickly too and show you a little bit more of the code. So back into the code, I'm just going to go over a few of the pieces pretty quickly. I'll post this on GitHub, so if you want to check it out, go ahead. And I'll be making updates as well. Maybe in the README I'll add a roadmap of the stuff I want to complete. There's a lot of work to be done on it. There's even stuff like environment variables I want to add just to make things easier to customize. But back to the code. I grabbed this from thestupidprogrammer.com. Just took it off their website. It worked. I'm going to leave the source in there. For anyone who wants to check out their website, seems like they have some good stuff. The vector extension, so we need the Postgres Docker file in order to install an extension called pgvector, and that's what's going to create our vectors of strings. Well, that and the sentence transformers. I'll get to that. There's a couple of DB scripts here. This can probably be moved up into Postgres, so I'll probably do that later, and may actually have them run on startup of the container as well. At the moment, you have to start Postgres. You run these scripts in order to make the tables, and they should stay there as long as you have the volume set for Postgres. That persists it through taking the containers down and bring them back up. Have a quick helper function here. Basically, it's just recursively going through folders in either a movie or TV show folder and creates a select box of the movies or TV shows to select and associate subtitles to. Next we have the database manager. It's pretty much what you would think. It handles the connection, generating a media path, inserting media. These are all database entities that we're using here. Insert subtitle, search subtitles. This is the search query that I showed from my website earlier. Subtitle parser. So this is what goes through the subtitle files and extracts data from them. So the text to be vectorized as well as start and stop times. So that's important for figuring out where we want to look on the movie or TV show for the content that we found using the vector search or semantic search. And this is basically all the Streamlit code. So you can see here, it's really not that much for two forms, really. That's why I like using Streamlit. It's really easy to get up and running. And everything's running in Docker. So our Docker Compose has 3 different services. The web one for Streamlit. Nothing too fancy here. The Postgres one, see, we're running the Docker file in order to install the vector extension, pgvector. Not too worried about these environment variables with really basic usernames and passwords because I'm just using it locally. And pgmin, so this is just a way of interacting with the database. I'll log in there and delete it if somehow the data didn't go in as planned. And don't forget your Postgres data volume. I think that's pretty much it. So back to our application here. You can see we have the start and stop times. That's going to be used for finding the clip that we want to grab based off of the text that we've been searching. Now, the subtitles and the actual media source are likely going to be different, so it'll be off by a few seconds probably at least. So like I have these movies, but the subtitles I grabbed off the internet were probably from a different source. But it'll get me close enough that I can grab a slice of like 30 seconds and it should be in there, and then I can make the GIF from that. Thanks for watching, and if you have any ideas on how to improve this, please leave a comment. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to go next with this. It is pretty useful as is, but I think I'm going to tie in those command line tools that I made before and have a nice user interface for them. Maybe I can just click a time and it'll create a clip 30 seconds on either side of that, or 15. We'll figure it out later. Thanks again.